John Harbaugh, that's made up. And I didn't hear the actual question, full disclosure. Is there a frustration? I'm guessing that's what it was.
It's from Jonas Schaefer actually asked it.
From the Baltimore Ravens.
And, basically what you just said. Actually attributed it to what some players had said in locker room availability earlier this year. I mean, I've heard it myself. Multiple players have talked about it. Hey, your record at home this year, after they lost the last home game, that clinched that they would have their first home losing season in God knows how long. And the players pretty much all said what you would expect them to say. Yeah, it stinks. We want to put on a better show for the people that come out and support us. Just typical, easy answer talking point, but apparently not for Harbaugh.
Basically saying it was fake news, made up story. And so you're cool with the Lions coming in here and bitch slapping you. The Texans pulling your pants down and spanking them heinies till they're as red as their jerseys. Steelers. Aaron Rodgers had his best game since he played for Green Bay. You're not frustrated by that?
How about the Texans? That was like the worst home loss in team history.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
they were out there just doing their Houston thing on the Ravens. So I'm not. And then Cincinnati on Thanksgiving, when you had just won 5 in a row and put yourself in a control your own destiny situation. So I'm not buying it. Not frustrated losing at home. Now, I'm not saying he's a liar, but I'm guessing when he walks to the podium after each loss at home, 5 of them, he's not going, this is fake news, made up story. Pissed.
Right.
With the loss, but this protect your house, Ralph Region, Under Armour, going way back when mentality, they haven't done that at all. And by the way, Nolan, New England's 6-0 on the road. They're 11-3. They've lost 3 at home. You think Vrabel's cool with that? No. Blowing a 21-point lead to Buffalo at home, I'm going to say he's not cool with it at all. But the Ravens, they lose to New England Sunday night at home. That might be the hammer time puffy pants for their season. Or let me rephrase it. A nail going deeper into the coffin. How's that sound? Because then you go to Green Bay.
Well, after last night, you're no longer you're comfortable, or you're no longer comfortable, right? I mean, because Steelers took care of business against the Dolphins, maintained that 1-game advantage. Now Steelers technically don't have to win either of their next 2 games. Sure, they want to try to lock it up as soon as possible, but if they lose to both Detroit and Cleveland on the road, even if the Ravens win the next 2, they'll go into Week 18 still with a chance to lock up the division. So they're very much in the driver's seat here.
So Pittsburgh, we'll get into that during the whip around. Pittsburgh beat Miami. Pretty much finished off the Dolphins, by the way, in the AFC playoff chase. But John Harbaugh also talking about, and our first cut was John talking about Ronnie Stanley. He left off the field. It was kind of a little Dylan Bundy, John Meansy. Looked off the field, this, that, and the other thing. And then talking about Trent Simpson. Well, he's going to step up a little bit, and losing Teddy Buchanan stinks, who was having a brilliant rookie season. 4th-round draft pick and non-contact on a punt return. And we all watched the game, saw him go down, and knew it wasn't going to be an ideal scenario for him. But, talking about Trent Simpson, who finished second on the team in tackles behind Roquan against the Bengals. John pepped up a little bit. Then you got to Draymond Jones. Whew. Man, was that Ray Lewis running around out there against the Cincinnati team? He was very excited. That's why we brought him in. Don't know what he was doing. And after a pretty impressive beginning to his Ravens career, cooled off a little bit. Well, the entire team, defensively in regards to pass rush, sucked against the Steelers. Only 1 quarterback hit, which he had, by the way. But he had 5 quarterback hits, and he was putting Joe Burrow in uncomfortable situations. And then it got back to the home record. So we went from, I don't want to talk about injuries. All right, well, Buchanan got hurt, next man up, and Trenton, yeoman's work. Draymond's been awesome. And then our home record stinks and fake news. John Harbaugh, press conference, which are always fun, but I can understand After a game, hey, if you just want to go full on zap out, I get it. You're literally required to talk about whatever, good or bad, what happened over the course of 60 minutes within minutes. You meet with your team for a couple seconds, and then you come out and deal with the media. But when you got a day to process, I get it. You know what I mean? And it's not like, again, our media, Baltimore, and we know most of them because they come on the show a lot, and we appreciate that. Not like busting balls. Not at all. I don't think this is very difficult media to deal with. You have to ask questions because as media, you're a conduit to the fans. We're supposed to, and I'm not a reporter, I'm just some lard butt yapping about the game like everybody else. But you're asking questions when you get these people, Nolan, at your disposal that the fans want to answer.
Yeah.
And they might not want to hear the questions, but I don't think we're being fair to our listeners if we don't say, well, why the hell are you sucking up? Right?
I'm with you. But I think the thing about what I was anticipating for Harbaugh yesterday is, all right, you win 24-0, right? You snapped a little 2-game losing skid. You get back on track. That just seemed like a prime spot for Harbaugh to come out with the chest puffed out and the typical, oh, we're back, all happy-go-lucky and everything. And I was actually a little pleasantly surprised that it was more measured than that because that's the reality of the situation. You knew this task in front of you. We just got done talking about it. You were a game back of Pittsburgh. You got to do your part to make sure that Week 18 game actually matters. And you can't win 3 games in one, but it had to start with one. And was it good? Was it encouraging, especially from a defensive side of things, that they actually conquered, and not just conquered, dominated a good opposing quarterback and a good opposing offense? Yes, but no one win here is something that you can say, all right, that's it. We're 100% back. We're good to go. We're true Super Bowl contenders. We're a real threat. It's one step after another. This was just step one, and that's how it should be treated.
Right, because they put themselves a lot of steps behind starting 1-5. But then again, they played themselves into a position where we all thought, I don't want to speak for you 100%, but after they were 6-5 with the Bengals coming on Thanksgiving, Pittsburgh was flatlining a little bit. There's no way the Ravens lose the division. Then they lose 2 in a row at home to division rivals, Bengals and the Steelers. And now they put themselves again up against it with a difficult task last 3 games of the season.
No doubt.
And this was a year, best roster in the history. I was that guy. Best roster they've ever had. I mean, they're strong Super Bowl favorites. We're watching the first 3 quarters against the Bills. They're 15-2. They wound up losing the games. Holy crap, where the hell did this come from, all this?
Now, of the next 2, because we both consider these to be pretty daunting tests for different reasons. New England on the surface makes sense. They were the 1 seed for the longest time until this past Sunday. Still one of the most elite in the conference. They had an incredible win streak. They've been good on the road, like you said. And then Green Bay, all right, tough environment on the road. Technically a little bit of a shorter week. Technically. Well, especially because Green Bay's playing Saturday, and the Ravens are Sunday. So just a day, but even still. The weather, if you want to go that route. But of the 2, I don't know which one would be more difficult. I mean, I might even say that Green Bay might be more difficult, even with the Parsons injury. Just the fact that it is a road game. We got done saying the Ravens stink at home right now, but for one last time, under the lights, prime time, your season now has life once again. New England's playing for everything, obviously. I think maybe they get a little more ramped up for this one. You're coming off a dominant performance, and we'll see what happens for Green Bay. But I could go either way. Right now, I'd lean and slightly say that Green Bay will be a little bit more of a challenge, but it's close.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Parsons. Josh Jacobs was questionable, but he had 2 touchdowns. Christian Watson got hurt in the Denver loss against the Broncos, who clinched playoff spot right now, the number 1 seed in the AFC. But, yeah, they're a team that's going to be formidable. I mean, they still have a chance to win their division in the NFC North. And then New England's coming in here, as we mentioned, 6-0 on the road, blowing that big lead against Buffalo where they would have clinched the AFC East, so they still have some status to play for as well. So the Ravens are going up against teams that, for the most part, next 2 weeks, New England and Green Bay, who are going to be in the playoffs, play more for seeding, where the Ravens, they don't even know if they're going to be in the postseason.
But with that in mind, all right, the Ravens just have to win in general. Whether they were playing the Jets this week or whoever, the Raiders, it didn't matter. They had to win. But let's say you do win. Could it add on to kind of what we just saw with this Bengals? If it's convincing, right? The quality of opponent at that point. Maybe you rattle off a couple in a row. Does that start to give you that feeling like, okay, maybe this is a team that could put it all together at the right moment? They're extremely deficient, make no mistake about it. Like, if they make the postseason and they're in the mix, they're still going to be extremely flawed, right? That's not going anywhere. And, you know, God forbid they lose anyone else to a significant injury. I think the Buchanan thing is going to be a bigger loss than people are making it up to be right now. But still, you'll go in there, you'll be in the mix, and maybe you're playing your best football at the right time, and you would at least, there wouldn't be a what if. Yeah, we're in, but can we really beat somebody good? If you're going to make the playoffs at this point, you will have beaten and dominated a good Bengals offense, and you're probably beaten either Green Bay or New England, 2 playoff teams, if not both.
And Drake May's a MVP level guy.
And then, of course, the Steelers, which will be a game that means everything on the road, tough environment there in Pittsburgh in Week 18. So if the Ravens are going to be playing in January, they're going to be in the playoff mix, there will be less doubt in my mind as to what kind of team there are. There won't be any mystery to it. We'll know fully well.